My name is Lior Cohen. I'm a Senior Director for Cloud and Application Security here at Fortinet. I'm going to be covering the overview of Fortinet and our Fortinet cloud security strategy. We call it Dynamic Cloud Security. Today's session, it will be broken up to really 5 chapters. My session kind of overview of the overall strategy and solution set, followed by Ali Bidabadi's session covering the architectures, specifically for Fortinet and cloud security. Then we'll dive deeper into network security, application security, and cloud workload protection, cloud platform security, and summarize. So with that said, let me start with introducing Fortinet to those who do not know or are not familiar with Fortinet. Fortinet is a leader in the cybersecurity world, currently at a 22.5 market cap, billings of 2019, roughly at 2.6 billion, quite a lot of patents. We put a lot of emphasis on innovation and patents, very large field organization, very large scale, as we say. We do ship 30% of the world's global firewall shipments, which is really more than any other of all the other leading vendors together. Coming close to 500,000 customers worldwide. So many of you probably know us through our small appliances all the way to our very large chassis products, and a very, very broad cybersecurity product line. Definitely well positioned as a first cybersecurity company in the world by most deployed, most validated by third parties, patents, and broadest portfolio. With that said, we have a very unique view of the world. And effectively, we're seeing and recognizing the fact that digital innovation is one of the key drivers kind of driving the IT landscape, right? And we divide this up into 3 main areas as we address the expanding attack surface. There's the piece of users and devices and how are things changing from an OT side, from a user side, managed, unmanaged devices side, locations, branches, campuses, and so forth. There's the network side, which really connects everything together, be it on-prem, in data centers, in campuses, at service providers, and so forth. And there is the compute side, data, applications, and infrastructure side. And we really take a part in securing all of these elements. The way the Fortinet portfolio is broken out is by 4 main areas. One being the zero trust network access side of the business, which is really responsible for that secure onboarding of the different technologies and endpoints into the network. Second, as our core business of security-driven networking, a lot of innovation of providing world-leading network security solutions, whether delivered on-premise or from the cloud. A third piece of the business, that dynamic cloud security piece, again, supporting and kind of covering, and we'll be focusing on that piece mainly today, security solutions for private cloud, public cloud, and SaaS environments, as well as edge from on the service provider side. And then obviously an area to help secure, kind of reduce risk around security operations, AI-driven security operations, which covers some of the other product lines such as SIEM, SOAR, and so forth. It's more responsible, again, with that security lifecycle management. We take a lot of pride in the fact that the security portfolio is managed through the security fabric. For a lot of progression and moving forward in the offering customers, again, the ability for that streamlining their overall security operations and footprint across multiple of these environments. So let me dive into a little bit more on the dynamic cloud security side, right? But before that, and I think I mentioned this before, the way we're looking at the solution set is through solving a problem. And the way we deliver the solution is through a variety of form factors. Obviously, different form factors would be relevant for different use cases in different areas. And again, you'll see zero trust network access solutions in the form of switches, in the form of software agents, and so forth. You'll see security-driven networking solutions in the form of appliances, virtual appliances, and also cloud delivered. You'll see dynamic cloud security solutions in all kinds of forms and so forth. So again, it's less connected the different domain and silo to, we call it pillars into the form factor, but more kind of giving customers that flexibility across the form factors. That said, diving into digital innovation that leading into cloud. So we all know that cloud is definitely a big piece of that's driving digital innovation, right? People use the cloud, they want to iterate faster, Cloud is definitely driving a lot of digital innovation and opening up opportunities, but it also leads to new risks and threats. And we see three main ones. The first one is that digital attack surface. So obviously, when we're deploying new applications, storing data, using cloud workloads, and then there are multiple different facets of it, and you're using new technology, obviously opens up new, expands the attack surface and opens up new ways for attackers to exploit, right? The second piece is what technology, what cloud platforms our customers are using. We're seeing that the way to cloud is not necessarily a one-way street to public cloud, but organizations are really mixing between public cloud infrastructure and private cloud infrastructure, often moving some workloads to the public cloud, then to move them back to private cloud. They're definitely using a mix of private cloud, public cloud, and SaaS. So the environment and the infrastructure is really much more dynamic. So compute is a dynamic entity that needs to be secured throughout in a more consistent way. And then the third piece is that we're seeing customers struggle with is the shortage of the skilled professionals, right? The different environments have different requirements, different technologies. Being able to master all these technologies is definitely something that's not always that trivial. So these are the three attributes that we're seeing from a risk that our customers are facing, that attack surface growing, the dynamic multi-cloud environment that they're facing, and that kind of the shortage of skilled professionals to be able to cover the unique security pieces on each one of them. So what is really special? And when we talk about the increased attack surface, I think that's one of the main things we want to talk about today as from a technical perspective, right? So we're all familiar with protecting applications and data from a network and applications perspective, right? Network kind of helps, and firewalls are very effective in protecting from known attacks and kind of confining traffic to only what's permitted and allowed. Web application firewalls such as FortiWeb are very effective in protecting the applications itself. And both of these are kind of inline tools to protect the application. But what's really different and changes in the world of cloud is obviously the platform itself. The cloud platform, whether it's kind of accessing that infrastructure as a service platform, whether it's AWS, Azure, GCP, opens up new opportunities for attackers. So let's just quickly review these three dimensions. They have an implication from a shared responsibility model for sure. Right. The more ownership provides the more control. And we're going to see that through our solutions as well. But what's interesting here is the way we broke things out is in a more kind of security-oriented, control-oriented way that is really effective for our customers and really also reflects itself later, as you see in our solutions, from, again, how our solutions come and play and are applied to the different customer requirements. And I'm not going to go into this in too much detail right now, and Philip is going to talk a little bit more about this in the CWP section, but I just wanted to bring this up because this is a very important piece of when it comes to protecting cloud-based workloads. You always want to be aware of the fact that not everything that's being deployed on the cloud, because the cloud platform is managed by the cloud provider, is automatically secured. But let's talk about the three pillars that we've, or the three kind of technology areas from a cloud networks or cloud security that we address in the Fortinet dynamic cloud security solution, right? So the first piece we talked about is network security. So network security is one of the fundamental pieces, and it's about secure connectivity to the cloud. It's very critical, especially if you have multiple cloud environments. Traffic control and filtering, controlling the traffic between the different, whether it's VPC or environments and so forth. And it's about end-to-end visibility. These are the three main things we're seeing customers that are looking for network security in the cloud, looking for. And we're bringing into this mix some of our technologies, such as our segmentation technologies, dynamic segmentation. You'll see some of that in the networking session, SD-WAN technologies, application control technologies, IPS, VPN, and so forth. So these are kind of just a level set. That's what we're talking about when we're talking about network security in the cloud. Next is what is application security in the cloud? So application security in the cloud is about that compliance. And again, everyone needs that compliance when they're coming into the cloud. being the ability to detect known and unknown threats, protect from known vulnerabilities. It's increasingly becoming about API protection. So more and more, we're seeing that the APIs are really the product that's delivered from the cloud, especially when we're talking about mobile applications there. So the ability to protect these APIs is becoming very critical. Protecting from bots and detecting bots is also becoming very critical. So again, all of these functions are very critical in an inseparable part of an overall cloud security solution. Again, it's not only about that network and it's not only about the platform, but that sometimes folks piece, but the application security piece and namely web application and web APIs is a critical piece. And we'll talk more about that in the dedicated application security chapter. And then the last but not least is the platform security. Oh, have some overlaps here, which is about the visibility into the configuration and policies, risk management, user behaviors, and kind of what are the users doing here. And I think that's another very important piece. The platform itself, it offers and represents new risks into the environment, and introducing these new risks, new security tools are needed. So you'll see from our side, we're touching on each and every one of these pieces, right? But it's not only about the technical element, as we mentioned, it's often about the customer initiatives and being able to support different customers in the different place where cloud adoption meets them. So as we look into customers, we've seen 3 types of initiatives. And again, some of these initiatives, some customers will have multiple of these initiatives happening. We've seen initiatives around consuming SaaS, where the key Fortinet solutions relevant to that would be the platform security solutions, right? We've seen customers that are building cloud native applications, kind of scraping out, starting from scratch, building cloud native applications, whether in the public cloud using IaaS and platform as a service capabilities, or using Kubernetes on-prem or in the cloud, which also kind of the application security side of things becomes very critical for them in addition to the platform security. And then we've seen also customers, we still see that even today, migrating or extending data centers across multiple clouds and multiple environments, where to that extent, the network security solutions also layer on top of it and are also very much needed. We take a lot of emphasis in offering solutions across the breadth of the cloud types, all the way from private cloud platforms, public cloud platforms, SaaS platforms. And again, the idea here is being able to offer very consistent security across this entire environment without needing to compromise on, again, what type of security am I going to get if I choose to deploy an application on one platform or another, or one set of technology or another. But just to summarize the point from before, as we mentioned, dynamic cloud security is about that security for any cloud, regardless of the type of customer initiative, securing the entire attack surface all the way from the network through the application to the platform, and being able to offer this through the Fortinet security fabric with streamlined operations, with security that follows applications and data ultimately, right? And really our goal here is to provide to secure any application on any cloud with a consistent set of tools and framework.
So I don't see anything here with respect to securing the data, or data encryption at rest, that sort of thing. Does Fortinet work in that sphere at all?
So Fortinet, as of itself, we're not a data security company, but you'll see in our FortiCWP portion of the presentation on the platform security side of things that there are quite a few controls, both from a compliance visibility standpoint, as well as from a kind of PII/malicious data perspective. But again, we're not a data security company per se, right? We're an overall kind of a network infrastructure application security company. When it comes to specifically the storage piece, that's slightly different. But we have quite a few solutions that provide a very comprehensive view there.
Yeah, so I have a question. How do you counter customers who say, hey, I don't know if I really need your solution because I use CDNs and all of my machines are only given private IP addresses. It seems like you could design a solution that doesn't require additional support.
So that's a good question. It's a very good question. So so again, if you look at the cloud security space, there are three interesting elements. And again, back to that, the platform security piece, the network security piece, and the application security piece. And for some of these customers that are saying, okay, I'm all CDN based, I'm going to provide my security at the CDN level, and kind of very focused on the inline aspect of security for their web applications and API, that's definitely something we're hearing from customers. And our FortiWeb security solutions actually integrate with all the different cloud CDNs. One of the differences, and you'll hear more of Brian speak about that in detail, is the level of security that we provide in that space from a ease of use and accuracy perspective are very different from what most of the CDN providers offer. And we're partnering even with the larger cloud providers on that to deliver this solution together with them to their customers. So our FortiWeb Cloud, which is our cloud delivered solution, actually is fully CDN integrated and provides that. So that's one part in terms of how do we compete with that direct kind of inline security piece. But beyond that, even customers that are CDN based, they still need platform security. They're still going to misconfigure their environment. They're still going to have issues related to data that they're storing and exposure related to data. These pieces do not go away. So they definitely need that element as well. That said, some of them are less concerned about the network security, which is fine. Again, it's a multidimensional problem, the cloud security piece. It's not one aspect only. So just to kind of breeze through here, a few more slides, but please keep asking questions. So it's good. I want to make sure to answer these questions. When we look at platform security, application security, and network security, we don't only keep it at the I'd say solution level. We offer specific use cases and guidance and kind of recommendations and deployment guides and technical documentation around them. And these are some examples. You'll find also some more information about these on our websites, and we kind of guide our customers through. Again, on the platform side, there's different platform security controls from a SaaS perspective and from a infrastructure as a service, platforms as a service perspective, and for compliance. There are different, on the application security, there's different implications kind of on the web application API, the container side. Secure email is also one of these, especially when we're talking about SaaS. And then on the network security, of course, there are kind of different constructs and different elements that need to be brought into play as well. From a technology standpoint, we group the products into these solutions in this way with FortiCWP, which is our cloud workload protection, cloud security posture management product, and FortiCASB, which is our CASB. We group them kind of under that platform security side of things. The application security, we offer full web application API protection platform with FortiWeb, full secure email gateway that also works kind of on an API integration level with the likes of Office 365 with FortiMail. Network security offerings on FortiGate VM, running on pretty much all the clouds out there, and FortiDDoS, all part of the kind of that protecting that compute piece of the house. Some of the key technologies, and you'll hear about them throughout the presentations today, are going to be the Fortinet connectors. So we connect into these different cloud environments so that it's much easier for customers to describe and implement policies that are not based on IP addresses in this cloud environment, but based on metadata and tags and data classification, rather. So that's kind of one key technology piece, is those connectors, as we're seeing here. Other technology pieces, that virtual SPU, we've taken a lot of the know-how and experience we had on the hardware side and implemented it in software. We offer currently by far the strongest performance when it comes to firewalling in the public cloud environment. We get to over 20 gigabits per second of VPN throughput on AWS, certain AWS instances, that's really second to none. No competitor even comes close to that, and that opens to our customers many interesting use cases. We apply artificial intelligence technology in our FortiWeb. So, and again, the pervasiveness of web applications and APIs leads to a chicken and egg problem of, one is I don't have the skills to protect, two is I have to protect. And the way we're solving that is kind of by improving accuracy and improving the operability of web application security by leveraging artificial intelligence. And obviously our fabric is a key component here, being able to more effectively operationalize the security across these three different domains is very critical as well. And then everything in Fortinet you'll find is an API. So those are kind of the key technologies that power these products and solutions. And then as I mentioned before, they're all available, different form factors as a SaaS, kind of security as a service offering from the cloud, as containers. You'll see our FortiWeb is available as a Docker container, and then on different form factors as a virtual machine, as an appliance, really a very broad set of availability for these different products, and then obviously for multiple different cloud platforms. So again, we take pride at being offered at the broadest set of cloud platforms on the industry right now out of our competitors. So these are kind of the key points. So if I just to summarize before moving on, so we're really addressing the dynamic multi-cloud reality that we're seeing. Again, workloads moving across and kind of customers experimenting with different technology stacks by that breadth of offering across all the different cloud, public cloud environments, across multiple SaaS platforms, and then being able to really offer that breadth of the portfolio. We're addressing the increased attack surface by being kind of that only vendor that offers you the network, the application, and the platform security areas, and really by increasing the attack surface coverage that way. And again, putting a lot of emphasis here on the web application and API side of things, as that's really at the end of the day, the delivery mechanism. And then we're helping in addressing the shortage in skilled security professionals by offering that streamlined operations opportunity with the Fortinet Security Fabric. And these are really the key benefits and I'd say value statements that that we provide to our customers, and really the benefits that our customers are getting by deploying these solutions. And that's why we're seeing very good success in the market with our cloud security solutions. And again, we're just growing. We're big believers in building solutions and technology organically. So we're building it to kind of best suit our customers and listening a lot to our customers. And I think the number of customers that we have there speaks to itself in that regard, as we're very focused on them. So those are the main slides I wanted to walk through today. I think we have a couple more minutes here. I'm happy to take a couple questions at that strategy level, overall solution set level, before we dive into some of the architectures, as I mentioned before, that Ali will provide. We'll go into network security, into web application security, into platform security.
So as we go along, are we going to get more specific about how you see the attack surface as specifically how you see that increased? And as we go along, talking more about the topics?
So in each topic, you're going to hear about that specific area. So in the network security, you're going to be hearing more about network security solutions per se. I don't think the network security attack surface has necessarily been changing all that much as of itself. On the web application and API protection, yes, we're definitely going to hear more about some of the changes in the landscape that are leading to the changes in our technology. And so are we going to hear on the cloud platform side on FortiCWP. But from an overall perspective, again, the point we're acknowledging from what's happening in the market is it's not one domain. It's not one attack vector. It's multiple. It's the network. It is the applications. It is the platform itself. Obviously, attackers will find the weakest link and try to penetrate through that and expand their foothold through kind of that one attack entry point. So yeah, that's kind of the at a high level the point. We can dive a little bit deeper into that, but the key point at this level is the kind of the multi-dimensional aspect of this attack surface, and in each one of these areas, again, mainly on the application and platform side, we're going to talk a little bit more about the attack surface as well.
Okay, cool. Because I think one thing was in one of your slides was around risk management of user behavior, and especially when you talk about SaaS offerings and trying to protect those, there's a huge amount that you just have to rely on the SaaS vendor to manage and do the right thing to protect you. So I don't know if you're going to talk about that relating to your risk management and user behavior, and if there's anything that goes into trying to find some way to protect you from the SaaS, from the SaaS thing, that the part of the cloud that you can't control. So that's
we're not going to talk a lot about CASB today, which is more related to SaaS. We'll talk more about CWP, but within CWP, we're definitely going to address some of the risk management aspects and the user behavior aspects so yeah, Philip is definitely going to be covering some of that, but not as much on the SaaS. Fundamentally, it's not very different, but it's kind of a different environment, but kind of a similar problem in a way.
Yeah, thanks.
So who do you normally interact with in your engagements? Do you talk to the security people, or do you talk to their cloud team? Do you talk to the normal sysadmins? Who's your vector?
Predominantly security team and network teams. Those are the teams that we're the most familiar with and in interaction with. Often, especially when it comes to platform security discussions, they need to get buy-in from the cloud teams, but typically the budgets, as we see it, and the purchase is being driven by the security teams for cloud platform security discussions. And in the application security space, it's slightly different, as sometimes the interaction is a little bit more direct with the application developers.